what happened.
Wow.
Girl, like somebody said they're gonna treat 2026 like a black mama.
Nah.
I'm not one of your little friends. You cannot play with me like that.
Facts.
Okay, we shutting it down and we picking it back up.
Shut it down, pick it back up. Yes, ma'am.
Oh God. So, and Ricole was actually, I think, watching that live stream with us too. Hey, Ricole. She even said that it was really good too. And the reason why I just want to start with that is because mentality, that's where everything starts. Everything, right? Nisa, you told me some wins recently. I know how we celebrate our wins.
Yes,
Mine could be out
ma'am.
here showing off.
Yes, ma'am.
Like,
I got my first official and paid sponsorship for the conference.
okay.
So, yes.
But can you break it down? Because I know we're gonna use this on a replay somewhere, guys. Break it down for even speakers. Like I know Ricole's a speaker. I'm a speaker. I'm getting sponsorships for the conference and listen as a speaker too, right? Because at the end of the day, if I'm not able to secure monetary gain to say, hey guys, do y'all believe in this mission? And then do you believe in me? Then sometimes we don't build up the confidence to do what we do all the time. And that money matters. I do want to actually go over the experiences because I think you started off from a mental state where you just put yourself in position to learn first, then implement. So let's go over that because I was like looking at some of the attendees and people who popped into the master class, and I'm like, Nisa was the first one. And lo and behold, you the first one to get the sponsorship. Look at God.
Won't you do it? No, but I'm gonna tell you this, right? It's crazy. Well, it's not crazy, but like in doing the sponsorship, it's like I was finding myself giving my co-founder like tips on who to talk to in his circle, and the people that he asked, they said, yeah, we'll be your sponsor. So I'm sitting over here like, okay, I can help you, but I'm literally doing the same thing I'm telling him, right? And I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay, let me see who I can ask. And so I did ask one person and they were not interested. Hey, Nye, welcome in, everybody. And so I was like, you know what? And then I looked into the templates after the master class, right, that you sent us. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. I'm going to take what I've learned because I was inside of my head of what to do from the services that I offer, right? So I was literally trying to think of what can I offer from Miracle Moments that can be benefit to them, right? And pricing the tiers and everything like that. And y'all, let me tell you, that took me a while because I'm like, and every time I started thinking about it, I kind of felt like really overwhelmed, like, oh, I want to add this, I want to add that, but how much do I charge it, right? So then I was like, the Lord, like, really, like, just stick to the wheel, right? Don't reinvent it. If it works, it works, just go from what you got, the template, right? And that's what I did. So I crafted up a post, message, I think it was inbox messages to send out to different people that I've had in contact with, right? And I just sent out a few. A couple of them said, yeah, I'm interested. So then, as me and Dr. Allegra discussed, how long am I going to wait till I re-follow back up? My problem is, or shall I say was, the follow-up, okay? I'm just going to be very honest because I didn't want to feel like, oh, I'm being very pushy. But like we also discussed, people do forget, people do have other things going on. So that reminder to them helps not only myself, but it also helps them remember, oh, yeah, I was interested in that. So this is what I can do, like maybe 2 or 3 weeks from now, check back with me. And that's part of the follow up. So I ain't gonna lie, the follow up can be a little nerve wracking, but in doing that, it can mean so much more to you than what you really realize, right? So I have a person that's gonna sponsor my actually lodging once I get that together. And let me tell y'all, listen, this person told me to contact them on a Sunday, right? Yeah. So that Sunday came, I was like really exhausted. I was like, I don't really feel like talking to nobody. I don't really feel like calling nobody. So maybe like a week or two went by, and I was like, you know what? I think I was driving on my trip, and I was like, you know what? I ain't nothing to it but to do it. Let me just call this person, right? So I called him, and literally, it was like a really quick call. And I'm like, Nisa, you was really dreading that call. And they were like, all I need to do, just send me the information. And matter of fact, they said, what about your lodging? So I was like, okay. So I was like, yeah, that would be really well. And they were like, well, I can do this because I could probably get it cheaper than what you can. So, and that's how like God works, you know, you never know until you take that step and ask people, right? And I think sometimes I really get nervous in the ask, because I fear what they're gonna say. Like the worst thing they could say is no, just move on to the next, right? I did have somebody say no, and what did I do? Just move on to the next, right? So it's in that continue to show up, like I was talking about earlier in Clubhouse Room. Continue to show up because you never know who's watching. You never know. They're just waiting for you to ask, and they'll be willing to support you, right? So, and just stop me whenever you want to stop me.
No,
But
I love it because you're giving, and Nicole had a question in here. The reason why I love what you're saying is because it gives people a window into what it looks like to start from the beginning of if you've never asked for sponsorships before, if you've never asked for funding, then it's going to be uncomfortable.
very, thank
Okay.
you.
Like that's what I pull out, in this moment because anything you do new, your body has not even recognized it yet, right? So it's like, what is going on? And then your mind's processing what you're doing as you're doing it. But I love how you came back to the fold and you were like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. I'm telling this man how to get sponsorships and he's getting stuff and I'm not necessarily yet. What do I need to do? And so the ask, that is the most important part outside of the process, because you can ask, but if you don't have anything for them to ask, to follow up with the ask, then it's kind of like it's discouraging.
Yeah, and then too, like I said, I gave him, these like when he went to get his hair done, I was like, well, ask this person. You never know because you're a long time client, and she may really be interested. And lo and behold, when he went, we talked later, and he was like, yeah, she said she'll do it, and she wants to be a vendor too. I was like, what? And then not only that, he had his sister as well, and then another gentleman about being sponsors. And I'm like, I'm very excited for him because this is really big for him. But at the same time, I'm like, nice of what you're teaching somebody else, continue to use it for yourself, right? And I wasn't really applying it in my area like I needed to, but also being excited for him. But, I'm really learning to continue to what I tell other people, apply it to my own self, right?
Yep.
Because how would they know, like, oh, you telling me this, but you're not doing this? So I had to really like lean into that. And hold on one second. I had to really lean into that and start doing it myself, and just start taking that leap of faith, sending out messages to different people that I have in my inbox or I have in my community, right? And then this is another thing. What happened to me yesterday? Yesterday was Monday. Yeah. Okay. So there's a lady I'm in community with, and she's really sweet. I met her through another community, and we've just been connecting ever since. She'll come to my lives on TikTok. She'll interact, and I'll come to some things that she may have. And she sent me a message yesterday about things she's having tomorrow, and I was like, well, I do my best to come and try to make it because I know I have to take my dad somewhere tomorrow. So she was like, yeah, we would love to have you there. And she was, matter of fact, hold on, I don't want to get this mixed up because this was really like when I say this touched me, y'all, I literally did not, You know how
Mhm.
sometimes they say expect the unexpected, right? This now, when I tell you this, this is so true. And I'm going to give me 1 second because this is important. I don't want to
And
forget.
as we're doing that, I do want to recognize Ricole because she's giving hearts and applauses because I know, information is vital, but knowing how someone does something is even more important. And she said, what type of companies did you target? Was it local? Was it corporate? And I think sometimes it's not even about like, I mean, before we even get to the ask, right? Before we even get to the follow up, identifying like that you are a speaker, you know what I'm saying? And saying, well, who do I need to connect with because of what I need as a speaker? Because you weren't getting sponsorship for the conference itself.
Correct.
So who did you reach out to?
So what I did was I reached out to the people that I've been in contact with previously. Like I was on a radio interview. I reached out to that person. And that's the one that's actually going to sponsor my lodging. And then I also reached out to people in my community that I met through different other people, right? And also the people when I did the tour. I reached out to some of those people. And matter of fact, my first official lock-in was one of the sponsors from the tour and then that also hired me to do promotion for her. So she also she was like, I can't make the the conference, but I am interested in the sponsorship, the bronze package. So connect with me after Christmas. And that's exactly what I did. I followed up with her and then also continue to share her information because that shows them that I'm serious about, sponsorship and partnership because they know what they're getting because they see my work. They know what I've done. So that also brings about that connection and then also that what is the word for it? What is the word I'm thinking about? It was just in my mind. It shows them that I'm not just trustworthy in what they're wanting me to do, but Lord, what is that word? I can't think of the word. Anyway,
Oh.
it just builds that rapport with us, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So yeah, it builds that
Mhm.
foundation, I guess you can say too.
But I love how you went to people you already knew. And I think that answers the question for Nicole. A lot of times, too, for anyone who's listening now or on this, the replay clips that we do,
Mhm.
sometimes we don't realize that the answer is already in front of you. I have so many stories, right? And one of the most recent ones is, I'm looking at Bank of America because I bank with them pretty much almost my whole life, right? And I'm also a score mentor and I'm in a meeting, guys. So it's not about, you knowing it all. It's about how many rooms are you in that's giving you reminders and advice about what to do. Because I already know what to do a lot of times, but sometimes it's about that, hey, did you go ask this person? Or,
Mhm.
being in an environment where you're mentally focused on checking yourself like you did with, your partner. You like, wait, I'm giving you more than I'm giving me. I gotta go back to me. And being able to do those things is really important. Um, I think that we have to constantly be self-evaluating and saying, did we ask the people who needed it? Like, do we know someone who actually needs to be in the room that can't be?
Mhm.
That's a simple question. And then asking that question to people, right? Like you went back to someone who interviewed you on a radio station, right? Like, how many times we think about that? Like our connections, people that we are in our network. So I think we have to think outside of the box, number one, before we even take the ask. So Ricole, I don't know. Ricole does a lot. I would, let me see if I can pull her up here and see if that gave her some ideas because for anyone who's listening and anyone who's looking for funding, especially in 2026,
Yeah, I'll
right?
tell you one thing. Your sponsorship class really helped myself because, you know, starting out even in business, you're thinking about, okay, sponsorship, but like, I think too, sometimes we as people, we can make it harder than what it really is when it can just be simple, right? So, yeah.
Very simple. I believe that. I believe that business is not easy, but I do believe it is simple, like you said. Um, so being as though now you have built this new, right, sponsorship opportunity, now people can actually look and say, I want to be a sponsor for NYSA's stuff, not for Win. It's not now. Fortunately, through the actual conference, doing the conference for Win, right, which we needed some powerful speakers, and NYSA shows up in so many different ways, guys. So it's not like she's got these connections by happenstance. This is the work that she's done in the past, the work that she's doing now, the people, the lives she's touching. I'm sure there's like $1 million worth of people she has not even thought about right now. That's like, oh yeah, I got money. I want to sponsor you. Yeah. So having the having the notion to know who to ask and what to ask, right? That's important because you do have to tell them, like Bank of America, they didn't want to hear anything from me if I wasn't talking about $100,000 or more, right? So you have to also know who you're talking to. So Ricole, I don't know if you had a question, but I would love to hear your feedback from what NYSA said. And you can introduce yourself, girl. You don't have to get on camera or anything.
I'm here. I'm trying to turn the camera on, but can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
My camera won't come on for whatever reason.
Can you put it on for her, NYSA? Oh, wait, hold
I was
on.
just looking at that. Hold on one second. Let me see. Oh, because she doesn't.
No
access for some reason.
Probably because it's a new page.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. To be able to turn your camera on.
So it's cool.
We know what you look like.
Huh?
We know what you look like.
We do.
That gave a lot of insight to that because I wasn't able to join the master class. So in listening to NYSA, it gave me an idea. No, it led me to exactly who the first person that I'm going to go ask. It's a gentleman here. He has what they call a Woman of Worth program. And I've been a part of that program for about 10 years. And I think that they would sponsor me in some form to do something like this, to be an example to the other women that are in the program. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. Just to introduce myself, I am Ricole Tautone, CEO of Rockbrook Business Services, and I am looking to go into 2026 on a great note. I've sat back and had to look at some things, release some things, kind of do a reset. So we're going in with our new system. We're focusing more on that than I felt like I've been all over the place trying to do a lot of things. And it just causes a lot of confusion within the company and with people. So I'm kind of narrowing things down and staying kind of in one or two lanes. When it comes to the community stuff, I am still going to be more community driven. However, I am not looking to take a seat with city council for now, because I do want to pursue my certified public accounting certification, and that is a hard certification to get. And in going through this process of thinking I may become a city council person, I truly was not prepared to take that position. So when I finally made that decision, I literally felt like it was like a huge weight that came off of my shoulder. And now I can move a little bit more freer, and I don't feel so I want to say constraint. I don't feel the constraints of being tied to my hometown specifically. So I'm looking for more clients outside of this city. I'm even considering moving outside of the city at this point. Whatever God has for me, I'm ready. I'm not letting anything hold me back. I'm not putting limits on anything. And I'm not going to allow this past brain surgery, the fact that I have a building, to determine how my future looks for me, whether it's here in Ohio or anywhere else in the United States. And I have the WIN community to thank for that. So I thank you all. Nisa, you are such an inspiration. Because I've watched you come in and see where you are today. And OMG, you have grown so much in just these 12 months that I think I met you in January. And to see where you are in December going into the next January, it is awesome. So congratulations. I pray that God continues to bless your business, you, your family, your church, and everything that you are a part of. And that is all that I have. And Allegra, I thank you for all that you've done, all that you've instilled in me, whether you know it or not. I'm going to give you your flowers now, so that you can smell them. But you have done so much. After the surgery, I just thought things was just over. And coming back into this community gave me hope. It gave me trust, and it gave me community, which was the thing that I needed the most, because I don't have that here where I live. I don't have community. It's very cliquish here. And if you're not in the clique, then you're just not in it. And I'm not a cliquey person unless it comes to the WIN community.
Well, I mean, listen, I'll play.
But
No, I love it.
you've done that for me personally, and I thank you for that. So I hope both of you all have a very happy new year, new thoughts, new ideas, new things with the same God moving us all forward.
Amen to that. I know, nice. I know. Let's pause for a moment because I saw Karan pulled up in the building. Hey, Karan.
Hey, Karan.
But thank you, Nicole. I'm sure Nice is going to have some pleasant things to say. I just want to thank you too, though. Y'all, for Cole be sliding through stuff, okay? Because she'd be like, yeah, after my brain surgery, baby, nobody knows what we go through behind the scenes. And I remember, I think I said to you, I was like, girl, I had no idea. I was like, I know we have member calls and things like that we'll check in with, but you know, you never know what's going on. And so Ricole comes to the first conference smiling, just, because Ricole always flies in from out of town to come to the WIN events. Thank you, Lord. We appreciate her. And when she comes, she always comes with this beautiful, beautiful spirit, energy. And I love the fact that when we met that day and Ricole was like, yeah, I had brain surgery and a doctor said I only had a certain amount of days to live. And I was like, huh? And she was like, yeah, my grandson, Carson, he saved my life because he spoke life into me. And these are the things, y'all, listen, this is why we create an ecosystem for women entrepreneurs, because we building businesses and we over here saving our lives. Like and I want you to share a little bit of that, Ricole, because you went from doing what you do for a long time, but you created a shift in your life when you made a decision that you're not going to play no more, right? Like that Black Mama in 2026.
Yes.
Talk about that real quick, and then I'll let Nisa chime in because I know she got a lot to say.
So just to kind of backtrack quickly, it was May of 2024. Leading up to that, I was doing really well. I had like a $50,000 contract with this company. Money was not a problem. Doing a lot of things, and I really wasn't focused on God. And literally overnight, when I say overnight, it was overnight. I was doing laundry, preparing to go to Florida for Memorial Day weekend, and I fell. Prior to that, I had been having episodes with my legs and just ignoring it. But this particular day, I felt like it was something that I couldn't ignore because of how I fell. And I went to the emergency room, and I was alone, and I went and got all these tests, and they put me in this room that normally people don't go in. And then they kept asking, do you have family? And I'm like, what's going on? And they came in and explained everything. And I literally had up to 72 hours to live if this tumor stayed in my head. And even in the decision to remove it, there was a 50% chance that I may or may not make it. So I'm going into this surgery Literally, I found this information out about 12 o'clock that night, morning, whatever you want to call it, midnight. 5:30 in the morning, I'm on my way to Cleveland Clinic. I can't even get on a plane to be life flighted. I have to get in an ambulance. And thank God that I did not get on a plane to go to Florida, because that doctor said I would not have made it. The pressure from the flight would have killed me. Lo and behold, we get the surgery. And after the surgery, I survived, but that's when life hit me. I had to shut down my business. I was a one-woman show. I could not work, provide any services or anything for the remainder of that year. And that's when I was like, OMG, what am I gonna do? And I was sitting here with my phone, and I just got back into the WIN community. And we started having conversations, and things started happening. And that's when I explained to Allegra what was going on. And I think it was last year they had what you had something last year, the Women Connect conference. And I had got approval from the doctor to fly. And I said, if I don't go anywhere else for the rest of the year, I am going to go here. And I'm grateful that I can travel to Atlanta because my mama is there, and I don't have to worry about board and room and how I'm going to eat and all of those things. I just get a flight and I go. And I'm grateful for that too, because my brother works for Southwest. So I'm very, very grateful for the things that God has set up. But through this community, it has allowed me to build hope, give me a sense of peace. It has allowed me to reset, refocus, and get things going to where I am today. And that's kind of my quick story in a nutshell. And I'll release it back to either one of you ladies.
Now, I was gonna say, I know Nisa is like, Nisa is also moderating, and she's everything, all things too, because she's one of my partners, and she'll be in that chat making sure y'all are good. So I just want to say hi to the people popping in. I also want to thank Raquel for sharing her story, because it's true. My biggest thing about the ecosystem that we're building for women entrepreneurs and WIN is who saves the hero, right? And I think that women are at the forefront of business, but your story is so encouraging. And this is why we do what we do, right? We get support, we delegate, we get the financing, the money in place. The funding that we're talking about, y'all, getting your funding in 2026 and getting the money that you desire and deserve is not based on the fact that you're just saying, oh, hey, guys, I need money. No, you're already doing things that people are in line with. And now you can talk to them about that. Raquel, what all just popped into my head? Have you ever shared your story to see if people want to sponsor you as a speaker? I don't think you have, because we're just now, like, it just popped in my head. And you say you
No,
have.
I never talk about that. No.
You don't talk, you're not ready yet?
I mean, I don't mind. I just never bring it up.
Do you know how inspiring your story is? Nisa, do you want to comment on it?
You read my mind, Doc. Okay, so you know, because I wasn't scared to tell my story, but I think I was going in circles around, like, with my business, right? But when I was talking to Dr. Legger, I think it was in the beta testing program, and I think she was like, "What's your story?" And I told her my story, because people don't want to be like you're a salesperson. They want to connect with you as a person and get your story, because your story can take you further than what your services can, because they connect with you as a person and what you experienced. So for me, I took that, I ran with it, and that's basically what my business is based, how I talk about my business, because it is based off my life, and it is, my miracle moment, because it's based off my life when I experienced my first miracle moment at birth, right? Because my name is Nisa and it means miracle of God. So I was like, I want a business that embodies who I am. And what better way, what better name? Hey, Cake Lips, welcome in, everybody. What better way than to call it Miracle Moments, right? And I took it a step further than spelling it the regular way. And me and my co-founder, one of my co-founders, we were talking, And I was like, you know what? Why don't I could try to change it up, spell it a different way, make it catchy, make it so people can ask, oh, you spell it different. And literally, when I do interviews, when I talk to different people, they're like, oh, you spell it different. Like, yeah. And it's very catchy, right? Aha. So, yeah.
This is a true example. If you ever second guess your unique approach on anything, just don't. Because nice to just be going with it. She said, no, it's spelled differently. I don't care what y'all think.
Yeah.
Shout out to Cora, DQ, and Fan. Thank you for being in the building. I saw some people popped in. I think, go ahead.
Can say something to what Ricole was saying about me, growing through this whole 12 months since you know me, right? Literally, when I tell you this morning, I was like literally bawling my eyes out because I was on Instagram and I was just looking through my look. I was looking through my posts and things like that, and it just reminded me like, Nisa, this is where you started from and this is where you are now. Y'all listen. When I tell you, I was laying in bed trying to get out of bed, trying to get my stuff done, right? And it just had me in reflecting mode, like how good God is, how He can allow things to happen, right? And you can start. I started 2025 as an employee, y'all. I started 2025 as an employee, and I'm ending 2025 as the CEO of Miracle Moments. Now, I'm not gonna say it was easy, and not gonna say it's not. It hasn't. It's been, peaches and cream and everything like that, right? But it's mine, right? God has blessed me to do that, and He's continued to bless me. So I was like literally in the bed bawling my eyes out, crying like a little baby, like, oh my God, like this is where I started from, and like 5 or 4 months later after leaving my current job to now like running my business, and it's allowing me to really not just, it's having me to self-reflect, look at a lot of things in a different light of where I can continue to do better, not only for myself, but y'all, I got like 2 employees and plus myself, so we're just like a company of 3, right? Shout out to one of my co-founders for going to Invest Fest because that's how that all started. But it's just amazing how, like, I know this is not the end for Miracle Moments. This is just the beginning because, like, Sophia was saying, like, 2025 is kind of like when things go here and there, but 2026 is like for restoration, and then 2027 is for completion. So, and you know how they say the first 2 or 3 years of business, you don't really, and I literally was thinking about this on the way home from my site inspection. Because listen, you know how we talked about, oh, did I make my daily target goal for today, right? So I was sitting there, I was coming from the site inspection. I'm like, you know what? I made my goal for today, and then I exceeded it by doing the inspection, right? So, and in that, I was thinking like, oh Lord, I was like, this is it's just mind blowing because you think about where you started from to where you are now, and like what you had to go through, what you not had to, what you got to experience, because not a lot of people got to experience these things, right? So, and I'm like, God, thank you, because it's just, I'm just overwhelmed with joy because this is just the beginning for Miracle Moments. There are greater things to come, greater things. And I was talking to my cousin Brittany earlier, right? And this came up this morning, like, this is 2025, right? And we got like a day left or however many more hours. And I said, you know what? God can still do that, right? God still has time, because this is just because it's like, what is today, Tuesday at 7:24, that doesn't mean that it's stopping right now. God still has time at 11:59. Even if He does it at 11:59:01, He still has time. So whatever you're experiencing, whatever you believe in God for, I know for me, I'm believing for some things. And like the preacher, he was preaching on Sunday or the Sunday before last, like, there's still time. God still has time to do whatever that thing is you're believing God for. So I'm believing God for some great things, and I was also believing Him for that sponsorship. Baby, don't tell me what God won't do. A whole miracle moment. You're on mute.
Notice you said what my God's gonna do, and He keeps His promises. So thank you. But I know Ricole was down there like a word. Ricole, you wanted to say something?
That, man, you just said a lot in that little bit. Like, yes, I'm gonna just leave it there. I'm not even gonna mess it up. That was some good word.
No, it reminds me. It reminds me of something real quick, Nisa, because and y'all listen. Feel free because I'm only gonna give y'all an hour. Like, listen, we can't be doing this 2 hour thing. I'm still not broken. Still not broken into that. Okay. Because my time is it matters so much, and I'll be like, how y'all? But here's what I'll say. I worked in the restaurant industry for majority of my younger years. I can say that now, y'all. I'm in my 40s. So I'm literally a bartender slash server, working in different types of capacities. I worked in luxury hotels and restaurants, and oh, look at the hat. Okay. And I also worked in like the hole in the walls, right? Or, little cafes, whatever just had different jobs that I wanted to do. And there was one particular business. It's called Arizona's. I don't even know if they're still up and running, but it was the best job I had because the actual skill set that they taught you was more mental than it was physical, right? You go in a restaurant, they're like, oh yeah, you got to vacuum, you got to roll the silverware, you got to do, yeah, gotcha. But it was something about the mentality they were teaching more than the actual message they were giving, right? Why do you roll the silverware that way? Why do you serve the wine this way? Why do you need to know the whole list of wines and memorize it? Cheesecake Factory making them memorize the whole menu, front and back. So the power hour is the one thing that popped up, though, out of all the skill sets that I've learned. Just to give y'all a real true example of what it means to let God take that last moment and do what He got to do. The power hour was the last hour of the shift. It was the hour where most people would give up. They'd be like, oh, I didn't make a lot of money. So when people would walk in and they would get their meals at the end of the night, they would think, well, that's not going to be a good tip. Or they'll be like, oh, nobody's going to come in. Now, here's the thing. Power hour was regardless if anybody came in or not, you still did the work. You still went back there, rolled that silverware, did the expo, went, cleaned up. You still did all stuff. You still kept moving and doing the work. And this is what happened every time, right? Because I think it's energy, guys. I don't know what it is, but I think it's kind of like God gives us this ability to have energy to just kick out there. And then it goes, okay, you get what you asked for. And all we would do is just stay positive. We'd be like, oh, people are going to come in. And we would just start cleaning and organizing and just, slowly putting things away. And people would just start coming in little by little. And these are the nights that we would get the biggest tips. Now, not everybody got this, right? Because a lot of people did not have the same mentality. And a lot of people did not take advantage of continuing to work to the last minute of that hour. So that reminded me, Nisa, like sometimes we give up on letting God get the last hour. Like we still have a whole day before the year is over, and some people have stopped. They've given up on the clients. They've given up on the sale. They've given up on the opportunity to get the funding. They stop asking because they're like, oh, it's too late. But what if it's not?
Can I say something?
Of course.
This reminds me of the scripture, I think that's Hebrews 11:1, where it says faith without works is dead. And as long as you keep working, then that thing that you're working towards has to come, because faith without works is dead. And in order to in order for something to happen, you have to believe it and also do the work to make it come. And when those two things come together, then you only have one result. And that is exactly what that is. So when they gave up, they had no faith. And because they had no faith, they could not work. And because they did not work, for them, it did not happen. But for those who kept the faith and did the work, they had great tips.
Come on, somebody. let the Lord use you. So, we're not in here having church, but we definitely are believers. And I love how we ignite our faith in our businesses. I do want to emphasize, though, too, that this whole concept about new year, new funding, getting into the access, like, it's not about money itself, right? It's about how we manage our time, how we serve, right? How we utilize our gifts well, because there are people that are actually doing less and getting more in funding. Right? NISA made a great example of that. What other ways can we look at funding? I'm going to tell y'all this little secret. I've been hiding this away. But y'all see this paperwork right here? I don't know if y'all can see it. It's a lot of pages, okay?
I'm gonna say I see how thick it is.
It's a lot of pages. But this year in 2026, we're doing a Get Funded challenge. Okay, I don't know if you guys have ever done a challenge to really put yourself in position and look at all the ways you can get funding, right? But I have, and I'm about to do it again. Okay. When you understand things that are in your opportunity wheelhouse, put it like that. Like, if you don't know the money is there, then you'll never go after it. One of the things I remember, I'm a SCORE mentor now. Shout out to me, y'all. Hey! I'm sorry. I'm getting really excited about it because you know how you have a dream and you think about it and all of a sudden it's like it's there, right? Gotta celebrate that. And as I'm doing this, I'm also utilizing the spaces I'm in to get access to more information for y'all, right? Like, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm working with people who are coming, getting those mentorships for free. Y'all don't sleep on it, okay? Because NISA got her mentor. And she using all of them. How many mentors you got now, too? Okay.
I got 2. I still got to reach back out to the other one. So it's like, actually, I got a local one here. So it's like 4.
Okay. Well, she using everybody to her advantage because as a business owner, we're utilizing assets. People are assets. But I'm telling you guys, the funding is there. The money is there. And even back in the pandemic, y'all remember back then? Where they had the CARES Act and everybody started a business. They were like, oh my God, we're doing a PPP and we're doing the EDO. Do you know that the government came back to us as coaches, consultants, people, SCORE mentors, everybody, right? And said, go back to your people and tell them to apply because they're not applying. Right? So what is that? Is it because they don't know it's there or are they afraid?
I think they're afraid because, sometimes we as people, we are afraid of the result. Because we don't know.
Okay, they're afraid. What do you think, Ricole?
I would say afraid just because and I'm real quick. I applied for some funding with our first building and I was told to ask for $50,000 and I asked for $49,500 out of fear that I would not get the 50. So it's fear. It's really fear.
I'm sorry. Wait, what?
Yeah, you heard me.
If I just left, if I get $1 less, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. $1 less. This is not. I think sometimes it's also a lack of knowing, right? Because if you can be afraid of something and not do it, but that fear is from so many different angles, right? Like, I feel like sometimes we're afraid because we don't know what we need to. So we're like, well, we're just going to do whatever we think we know to do. And hopefully that's the right answer. But if you know that the reason why you have to apply for $50,000 is because they're not taking nothing less than that, but then you put $1 less, kind of like, right? They can see through that. And having the knowledge to say, oh, like, for example, I said to NISA earlier, I went back to my bank, Bank of America, and I was like, I'm asking all these banks for money and I've been with y'all. Y'all need to pay me something back. I need something back for this, right? All my time, all my money, right? But as I'm talking to my bank, I'm just, I'm just thinking about what that looks like. So I'm talking to my bank rep and she's looking at me like a regular person, like, what you coming in here for? I'm like, this is my business. This is what I do. This is what we need. I'm going to need you to do it. Right. So she goes, okay, boom, here's the link. I get the link. I go through the process and they ask a very specific question. Are you looking for anything less than $100,000? Now, why do you think they asked that question?
To see how serious you were?
Could be.
Maybe to
Or
see if you have a plan for the funding, have it all together.
it could be. I don't know the answer.
Oh.
I honestly don't. I honestly don't know the answer, but it actually did intrigue me because once I get to go, I'm going back into the system next week and I'm going to be talking to, my contact. But those are the questions I'm going to be asking. Like, is there a funding identity that you guys go off of where most people won't know about? Like, if you go in there and you apply for less than that, they won't even consider you because it's a waste of their time. Now, I think that's a whole nother level of thinking. I would never even think that way if I'm just starting a business and I'm lowering my prices for regular people. It's like I have to learn that. So I think to your point, I do think it's fear. I also, now we're talking about it, think it's just a little bit of lack of knowledge as well. Could be both. It could be one or the other. And if you guys are listening in the chat and you hear this and it touches your spirit, you can definitely chime in too, because funding in 2026 is going to look different because you're going to be different. Like, funding doesn't just naturally change because you just go, oh, let me ask 50 more people, because if you asking wrong, doesn't matter how many people you ask. You're going to be asking and getting tired. Before we get off, this funding challenge, you guys are going to see it. So the only reason why I'm sharing it with you guys here is because this thick paper pamphlet I'm still working in, and you guys will see it announced on the 1st. But this is a Get Funded for Profit challenge, because a lot of people that come to me, they go, oh, well, I don't have a nonprofit. And I go, what does that matter? They go, oh, I can only get sponsors with a nonprofit. No. How many sponsors did you get, Nisa?
One. Well, I won't say one. So far I have like 3.
Nisa got 3 sponsors. When did I do that, sponsor my business? Was that 2 months ago?
No, it was this month. Beginning of this month.
Yeah.
That was this month?
I think it was Thanksgiving, right after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, December 1st.
It's only been a month. I thought it was more than a month. So in the 30-day cap, Nisa was able to get 3 sponsors for her business. No, for her brand, not even her business itself, for her brand. So there's different levels to this when we talk about identifying where we're going to get the support. Support comes in different ways. Monetarily, there are things that are designated for that. There are grants designated for that, right? Sometimes, we're doing things, and we talked about this in the past, but we're doing like major things, launches, right? Product, what do we call it? Product testing to see, like, beta testing, right? Same thing. And then also, sometimes we don't even think about angel investors. Do we even know what angel investors do? Like, do y'all know what angel investors do?
I've heard of that before, yeah.
Right.
Like, Lord, send the angel investor, okay?
Right. But if you don't know how to reach the angel investors and what they believe in, how you gonna get the money?
That's true.
Some people are like, oh, I'll just do a venture capitalist and IPO. And said, baby, they gotta believe in you just like the other people gotta believe in you. So starting with just regular normal people in the market that are like, I like what you do, I want to put my money where you at. That's something that's not easy at first, like Nisa said. But as proof, Nisa worked that thing. And then she, in a month, got 3 sponsors, people to lay that money down and add tax. No one's exempt. Nisa is special to me. She's special to the wind. I get it, yo. But as far as her ability, y'all, like, we can all do the same things. Ricole had questions. Ricole's like, okay, perfect. Now I can go back to the people I know. If you have quality people in your life and this is why your circle matters, then you better go ask them for support. Why are they there? If at the point of time where you are looking for support, they're not the ones you go to. So I'll just end on that note, because we'll come back with some more conversations, guys. But I appreciate the time. I wanted to jump in. Nisa, this was a quick impromptu. So I'll let you have the mic because I wanted to give everyone a chance to, just kind of eat on this, and then we'll come back with some more if we need to.
Okay. So I just wanted to end right here, and I don't think I introduced myself, but I think everybody knows who I am and what I do. But this is the one that I was telling you about earlier about this lady that helped me yesterday, and she was asking me earlier yesterday morning. She was inviting me to something for tomorrow, right? And she asked me how I needed help. So on the inside, I was really not gonna say like I'm looking for sponsorship. This is what I need. But I was like, I had to get myself out of the way because sometimes we put ourselves in the way of who God is allowing us to talk to about the people of what we need help with, right? So how will people know that we need help if we don't say nothing, right? So I did mention to her, I was like, I'm looking for sponsorship for the conference. And matter of fact, she is coming to the conference. And I was telling her what I, looking for sponsorship and all that. She was like, yeah, I saw that. And she was like, well, is it the stuff that you're already sharing? She was like, okay, I'll share it. And she also sent me a voice message about what I could also do in my messaging, right? So later on, I took what she said, I crafted up a message, I sent it to her just to see if I was doing it right, not knowing that she would come back and say, I would like to do this tier. So y'all, like when she said that, I was like, are we still, playing? Are we still like
are you giving me advice or are you?
Yeah. I was like, does this sound good after I sent it? And she was like, yeah. And she was like, well, I'll do this. Check with me back in about 2 or 3 weeks. I was like, okay, no problem. And then this is the last message she said to me yesterday, which really kind of had me in my feels because I really do be showing up. And sometimes I feel in myself that I don't do enough, but I am doing enough. I'm showing up, right? So she said, oh girl, I'm so proud of you. Keep up the amazing work. We see you. You represent us all. You represent us all of us. And I thanked her for sharing my post and all that stuff, and I shared hers because she asked me, what she need help with, and then in return I asked her how could I be of service to her, and she was like, just share my stuff, and I was like, okay, I'll do that anyway. So it was just in that, like, I have not even met her in person. I met her this year, probably like April or May or something like that, from another group. And it just shows you how God can align things together and cause you to be connected with the right people at the right time. So yeah, I'm like, it's just mind blowing what God can do. You just have to, like, literally just be patient, and sometimes that can be very hard. I'm not gonna lie. It's some things that I've been wanting and I'm really, praying about, and I'm just being patient and impatient, whatever you want to call it, but I'm impatiently waiting for, God to do that thing. And when God does that thing, it's gonna be amazing. And I'm just here for it because it's nowhere to go but up, right?
Yeah, y'all know, listen, I used to be bringing up some stuff. Now, we're not going to be here all night, but I do want to leave final comments. Because when you brought that up, Nisa, it reminds me that the waiting period is also the resting period, but it's also the working period, right? Like, we're doing our work, but it doesn't always show the results right away. And I think that, and I mean, you go through so many challenges along the way in business. I was just, looking at what next year is bringing and what this year brought, and I'm just like, went through a lot, right? But also, according to what Sophia said, 2025, 2026, 2027. 2026 is the restoration year because it's all of the hard work and that you've done all year long. I truly believe that. And I believe this is how God works, period, right? If you believe in God, then when he has something on your life and he wants you to get it, you'll keep repeating them same mistakes until you do. But he's already given you the blessing. He's already given you the things that you want. So it's a matter of walking into that. So 2026 for a lot of us is going to be that $1 million year. Is going to be the year of, relationships, reviving itself and people coming back to themselves. It's going to be a year of restoration. And I think that because of that, y'all, when y'all see me post this Get Funded Profit Challenge, okay, I do not want anyone to think that it's not for you, because in 2026, there's going to be such an elevation of business growth. Such an elevation of business growth. And if we are intentional about what we've been building in 2025, a lot of people became business owners. A lot of you guys are going to become business owners. Like Nysa said, she quit her job and she said she fired her boss and was basically out the door. And she built her own business, And there are going to be so many more people that are going to be doing that in 2026. And in order to do that, guys, it's never about doing it alone. It's never about doing it hard. Like some of us are hard-headed, like I've been hard-headed. It's not about that. It's about, okay, I'm going to make a mistake because I've never done this before. Where do I get the help? Nysa knows, go to SCORE. And when you talk about where do you get the help, because you're going to be evolving and growing as you do business, right? Wherever you get that help, always remember to go back to it, right? Always remember to utilize the basic things that you're going to need. You're going to need to learn in your business, but you're also going to need your bottom line, which is that money. Getting funded is not just about, hey, can you just, pay for a product? Your clients can fund your business, but I want us to think more outside of the box this year. I'm going to teach you guys about crowdfunding more, teach you guys about grants, of course. The grants are great, but they're very competitive, okay? Especially if that's not in your funding strategy, all right? We're also going to be talking about unraveling loan options. You should be leveraging at least $1 million in funding, right? I'm doing it this year coming up. So when you look at getting your credit together, getting your money together, start looking at what money you need to make sure your business is running and you are in a good position. That's being very, very intentional about your business, okay? Because we're not starting this to do a side hustle. So getting funded for profit in 2026, we're going to be doing a lot of great stuff. If you want to be invited into that, I'll go ahead and tell you right now, because I know it's going to be a replay. Go ahead and drop a heart in the comments, and you can drop a heart now. That way I know where people are. Raquel, I already got you, girl. Raquel was like, I'm going to be there. Raquel, and because we have a mastermind when it comes down to making sure you have your money right in your business, I'll help you with the forecasting part so you know what money you need, but Raquel's going to help you with managing that thing. Raquel, I think you also help with forecasting and making sure people get that together. Do you want to go ahead and give your final words?
Yes, that is a service that we offer. I just want to say that in 2026, and I'm just speaking this because this is what I'm telling myself, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who went through this year or any other year, but I was in a phase of my life for quite some time where I was always worried about everybody else, not what they thought, just their well-being. And sometimes I would put so much into them that it would take away from me. So saying for 2026 is to focus on you and become selfish. And that's not in a negative way. That's in a good way. Make you happy. Do the things that move you. And then the people around you will be happy because you're happy. If you have to be around people that you have to make happy in order for them to be happy, those aren't the people you should be around. So that's what I'm going to leave everyone with. Focus on your happiness, and then everything else around you will fall into place.
Listen, that's so good. It's so good. Thank you so much, Raquel. I really appreciate that. Cake Lips, I'm replying to you. I got you down. Definitely thank you guys for joining. And I think so many powerful words of wisdom here when we get them on the replay. Guys, make sure you share it. And also, if you guys need support, right? When it comes down to anything, I know Nysa does great with marketing. She's getting our speakers' theme songs ready for the conference. I'll be listening to the theme song of the conference like all the time because it gets me into the mood and the feels of what that environment is going to feel like. It also helps us with our commercial ads. And it also is something that, if you don't understand, guys, psychologically, people are very predictable. Okay. I'm going to school for my PSYD in psychology, in organizational psychology. And I am so inspired by the fact that our brains do power us. I mean, it controls everything that we do. So when you think about music as being a universal thing, how many times do you use music in your marketing? I mean, you really got to think about that. When you think about commercials and these jingles that these people are playing for their companies, they don't do that just for no reason. They make sure that it's memorable for people. And sometimes you even start humming it in your head. You don't even know why you're humming the song because it's stuck up there. And then you go look at miracle moments and you're like, oh, I got to buy this and I got to buy that, right? Because it's mentally there now. You're stuck. It's all part of branding, but that marketing piece and including that, you have to have the piece first. So get with NYSA if you need the marketing, if you need those business cards, those flyers, those whatever it is, guys. Just talk to her. She got you. And Nicole, I want to say too, from a business perspective, because as a business coach, I can't steer y'all in a direction that I feel like is just not advantageous. Do not start your business without knowing why you're starting it and knowing what money you're going to have to invest.
Right.
Period. All right. 2026 is going to help you get the money that you need. So don't worry. We got you. All right, y'all.
I have one last thing. I want to set up something to talk to you because I'm going to restart another venture that is there in Atlanta.
Okay.
With my brother. So I need somebody to talk to.
Of course. I'm a phone call away. Ricole's in the win circle. So I can't, y'all don't come trying to call me and DM me about personal stuff. Now we do have win community. No, not you. I'm talking about just in people in general. Y'all know y'all can call me for anything. I will say for the win community members like Ricole, NYSA, thank you guys. And this is what we do community is because we have to be able to be there for each other, create an ecosystem to start over, redo, refresh, renew. And all these things are okay because we're human. And one thing about our spaces is it's safe, right? We don't judge here and we don't have nothing against you because we all going through it. Thank you guys for definitely joining in and making sure that you connect. If you do want to connect with these powerful women and others like them, go to Women into Networking Win. Okay. And I'll put that post somewhere, in the replay as well in the comments when y'all see this. All right, guys, we got to get out of here.
Before you go, change your goal to 1.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Coach. Let me see. What how to do that?
Change it. Hit the goal at the top.
Oh, listen, thank you and fan gave me I didn't even see. Oh.
Yeah, change it to 1 so you can see your goal.
1 selected. Hold on. Gift goal, edit gift goal.
Mm-hmm.
Change it. So if y'all don't know NYSA, listen, keep her in your circle. Okay. Don't let her get to the point where she's so expensive y'all can't even breathe her air. Okay, I'm just saying. They think look, I've seen it before.
You can't breathe my air. Don't breathe my air.
I've seen it before. I be like, I told y'all, okay, it was 5 years ago and y'all thought I was playing. Now she up there with Oprah. Y'all wondering how you gonna reach her now.
You get a car. No.
Right.
That part.
Don't get it twisted. I've been in the circles. I've seen it before. I know what it looks like when it comes to greatness, y'all. We are all great, but we have to own it. So, y'all, let's get out of here before we start preaching again. All right.
Have a good night.
Thank y'all. Love y'all.
Y'all still gonna be on the app. I'm about to go live in a few minutes to put my nails on. So,
girl, I come on for 5 minutes and then I'm logging off. I can't do it.
I'm gonna come on your live.
Y'all have fun. I'll be here 5 minutes and I'm gone. All right.
I'll see you in a minute. Nice.